Good evening. Welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. So today I'm doing a book review on Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, book 3 in the Harry Potter series. This book was published in 1999. The summary of the book really revolves around year 3 of Hogwarts for Ron, Hermione, and Harry. And it starts off at the Dursleys. It's summer break. It's getting close to the new school or the fall school year. Aunt Marge comes to the Dursleys, insults Harry and his parents, and Harry ends up leaving and makes his way to the Leaky Cauldron, where he kind of spends the rest of the break, and then makes his way to Hogwarts. And all the while, there's all this intrigue about Sirius Black, this escapee from Azkaban, and he might be in cohorts with Voldemort. And there's these Dementors that are guarding the school, but sometimes they want to come inside and harm others. And there's new Professor Lupin, and we don't know who's good and bad again. And so, Harry doesn't have anyone to sign his permission slip to Hogsmeade's. And so there's all this intrigue going on. And there's also this development of the characters, the Golden Trio. And obviously you have, Malfoy and his band of and craziness. And then there's, stuff going on with Hagrid. And so it's an interesting tale. So what do I enjoy about the book? And probably some spoilers here. I really enjoyed Hagrid. I thought his character really developed. He definitely, being the game warden, he also gets a role as a professor. And all of the over the summer break, as they're getting their books and getting ready for the fall semester, they get these weird books and they're like attacking him. And then the kids are like, the books are wanting to like eat them. And so it ends up being him, and he's very aloof and heavy-handed in his start as a professor, and then he's showing the kids some things, and then Malfoy fakes an injury and uses his dad's influence to try to get Hagrid kicked out, and something happened to the beast, and and they're gonna kill it, and so there's all of this dynamic that's going on with that. I really liked Hermione and Ron's relationship. As you know from the previous book, book 2, it was kind of rocky. Hermione is definitely taking on a ton of courses, and they're not quite sure how she's doing it. And so that's something that happens later in the kind of the climax of the book. But their relationship is still a little rocky, but it kind of comes together as they're kind of learning to kind of share responsibilities. They get it. They continue to find themselves in these capers. Dumbledore, he's Dumbledore. He's definitely reminds me of Gandalf, and kind of in a way, like he's always got the best interest of the folks at heart, and he always kind of has the right answers, so to speak. I really enjoyed the pace of this book. This was a bigger entry so far. There's a couple others that'll be even bigger, but this one had a good pace to it. And I can tell why a lot of people will say that this is one of their favorites. The twists and climax, the last third of this book is just a whirlwind. If you have a book that has the pace and development and the conflict that the last third of this book has with the whole book, that would be the ultimate, in my opinion. I liked Scabbers, Ron's pet rat, who's actually Peter Pettigrew, and he has this backstory that you kind of learn about and plays a role in the whole kind of conflict at the end. I definitely like the end where Sirius Black turns out to be Harry's godfather, so to speak, and what he does at the very end with Harry and Ron. I thought that was really cool. In terms of dislikes, again, I'm being very nitpicky. I wanted a little more action at the beginning. Don't get me wrong, the beginning's good, but I wanted just a little more action. I feel like I'm waiting for more Voldemort. I really feel like I am. I'm 3 books in, and you get some mentions and some nods to it, but I'm waiting for him to kind of come calling, so to speak. And I know that that's going to probably happen later, but I was kind of wanting it now, so to speak. So normally this is where I would say, okay, I've talked about, I've given the summary, I've talked about what I liked, I've talked about what I disliked. Now, here's my rating. And I've given this a lot of thought. I went on a walk earlier and I was thinking about it. And I was also listening to another book that I have on the weekly reading list, Lawrence Block book. And I was thinking about Harry Potter because I knew I was going to do this review this evening. And I was wondering, okay, am I just being too hard? I mean, because this is, in my opinion, this is pretty close to a 5.0 book, in my opinion. When I looked at it retrospectively, though, and I was like, okay, well, what would I give it? 4.8, 4.9? I definitely gave Sorcerer's Stone the first book when we were meeting Harry and we were getting, I gave that a 4.9 because it's just so good. I mean, first books and trilogies and series are usually really good because you learn about the character, and it's just hard to top that, in my opinion, because everything seems to just kind of organically happen, or you get thrust in and you're just on this whirlwind. This was good. I have this up there with with Sorcerer's Stone. But in retrospect, I was thinking, okay, am I just being too hard and I should just let this be the inaugural 5.0 book for the year? And I was considering that. But then I was thinking, okay, maybe I'm just giving this way too much thought, and the ratings to give you guidance, and it's not that big of a deal. But when I look at my channel and I've rated over 50 some books already this year, if I just say, hey, I'm just really nitpicky, I need to just cut ties and just give someone, give a book that is deserving of being a 5.0 book, a 5.0, just for the sake of the fact that I haven't done it yet, is a disservice to the books that are 4.8 and 4.9. And so I'm like, okay, well, if I just throw caution to the wind about how I'm rating moving forward, then I do a disservice to the 50 books I've rated already. So am I really doing what I should be doing and just waiting for that one book to come along that just knocks my socks off? This is good. This is very, very good. This is definitely going to be in one of the top rated books for this year. But I just can't give it the 5.0. I just can't. It's so close. When I think about this in comparison to like Jurassic Park, which is another 4.9 book, the beginning of Jurassic Park was way better than this book, in my opinion. It was way better. Now, the ending of this book was way better than Jurassic Park's ending. I think the ending was good in Jurassic Park, but it was muddled in places. This was a whirlwind. This was great. So each of its own. I don't feel like one has the upper hand. So to give this 5.0 and Jurassic Park 4.9, it just doesn't seem right, in my opinion. So long story short, I gave this a 4.9. It's definitely one of the top rated books this year. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it. I hope everyone has read this, would agree that it is. I can definitely see why this is a lot of people's favorites. But Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, I gave a 4.9 out of 5. That's a review. If you've read this book, if you agree or disagree with me, definitely drop me a comment, let me know. And that's a review. So I hope you're having a great evening, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks.